What's up, guys? Mark back here with yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Apple Pencil, arguably one of the more controversial items that Apple has released in the last several years, considering that Steve Jobs himself was absolutely opposed to any type of stylus style input. So let's see if it's worth its $99 price tag. So first things first, I want to let you know that this is a device that you cannot really describe in a video. You almost have to just go into a store or purchase it yourself in order to understand that using this thing is an experience. It is not really something that can be described. So I'm just going to throw that out there right now. It's a very unique experience, especially if you are the type that likes to draw, likes to paint, if you are already familiar with sketching on a pad or something like that. If you're a photo editor and you're used to using something like a Wacom tablet, if you're into any of those types of activities, these are going to be very familiar tasks that you're going to be able to perform with the Apple Pencil. If you are just a general user, if you're just an everyday user that wants to interact with the iPad, I don't really recommend the Pencil for you. So as a photographer, I interact with photos a lot, but I will say that this is the first time that I feel as though I am interacting with my photographs in a very different, very personal, and very precise way. Just having the ability to target and to interact with my photographs in this way. Like I said, it's been about 6 years since I've owned an iPad, and actually interacting with my photographs in this way is also way different than when I used to edit with a Wacom tablet. For those of you that do edit on Wacom, it might be a little bit different because you're probably used to editing with the tablet flat on the desk. It's a little bit different having it set up in this easel style configuration, but I do think that you acclimate pretty quickly to that whole experience. The next thing that I'll say is that this is not anywhere close to the same as a Wacom tablet. It is much more responsive. It is much more latency free. With the brand new iPad Pro 12.9 inch, you get the 120 Hz refresh rate. So interacting with the device feels like you're actually editing the photograph as if it was right there, actually interacting with it with real paint or a real healing brush or just whatever. It just seems a lot more there. It feels very present to me as a photo editor, whereas it always seemed like there was a little bit of lag between input when I was using the Wacom tablet and interacting with my photographs. Always like there was a slight delay or something. So you do get used to that sensation. You learn to adapt as you edit, or you make sure that you double check the location of your mouse when you're putting the pen to the tablet. But with this, you're not really having to do that anymore. So just in a sense of time, saving some time while you're editing, this is a completely different experience. And I want to keep reiterating the fact that I'm using the word experience on purpose because in order to fully appreciate it, you have to experience it yourself. If you're already an editor that's used to editing on a tablet, I think you're going to settle into this experience really easily. But if you've never edited with a tablet or a stylus before, I think that if you purchase it, you'll pick it up pretty quickly and you'll just enjoy it. I think that in certain circumstances, I even found myself wanting to interact with my phone, with my pen, just because I still had it in my hand. It is really precise because of how sharp the tip is on the Pencil. So you can get really fine details translated onto your iPad. So if you want to really zoom in on a photograph and you really want to start using that healing brush in these really fine areas, you can. And a lot of apps have support for it, and it really does make it so much easier. It changes the way you interact with your photographs. I have never edited. I've never really been a super intricate editor. I've been, well, that's what I captured, so be it. I'm not much of a photo manipulator, but I do think that this Pencil encourages you to go in and really start messing around a little bit more so than you normally would. So be aware of that. Like I said, I didn't normally intricately edit my photographs all that much, and the main reason I didn't do that was because I had quit using the Wacom tablet, I had quit using a stylus, and I learned to just love the photographs that I took in in camera. Now, I might have done a little bit of healing here and there, a little bit of patch tool healing here and there, but never did I get as intricate or as fine as I have been with the pencil. So, take that for what it, for what it is, but I think you'll find that you are going to start to mess around a little bit more. I think that it opens up a level of creativity that might have not have been there before. Now, for you digital sketchers and artists out there, I don't really think that you're going to find a better solution on any other device. The level of control that you have with the Apple Pencil, different brushes, different pressures, different flows of the ink or the paint, you're really going to be hard-pressed to find the same level of responsiveness in any other device of its type, especially if you're in like the Procreate community and you like to draw and sketch and paint and all that type of thing. A lot of people share their brushes. They create brushes with different pressures and different flow rates and different opacities and flat, wet, just the whole thing. If there's a brush out there, you can find it. For people that like to create letters or calligraphy or typefaces, anything like that, this is such an amazing experience. I have just recently got back into drawing because of the pencil. I used to draw all the time, but I lost favor, and I thought, well, I guess I'm a better photographer anyway. So, but this has encouraged me to go back into that, to get back into that, to try it again, to make an honest effort to, re-hone my skills. And I think that once I learn all the ins and outs and the little quirks of the apps that I need to use, I think it's going to come out a whole lot better as well. As far as the build quality is concerned, I think it's well made. It really is, but it is very slick. So I think that some people are probably going to want to put some type of little grippy thing on the pencil to give yourself a little bit more purchase on the pencil. I've also heard of people dropping it, from like a pants pocket or something, and if it falls on the tip, you'll ruin the tip. And in order to get a couple of replacements, Apple charges about $19 for that. So definitely not a cheap replacement part at all. And again, like I said, if you drop it, I've heard of some people having to go in and completely replace it. Hopefully, if you do drop it, you drop it within your warranty period. You get a 1-year warranty with this pencil. So it's a really expensive investment for a drawing item. The end of it has a magnetic cap that reveals the lightning connector. And while I am not a huge fan of this design, it does in fact work. Now, if you're wanting to charge the pencil, you basically have to take the tip off and stick it in the bottom of your device. It will charge relatively fast, but I think that this is probably one of the worst ideas that Apple has ever had. I think Steve Jobs would be rolling over in his grave right now. I mean, honestly, just look at this thing. There's just no way that Steve would have allowed this to get off the cutting room floor. There's better ways to get a job done. I can see so many people plugging this into the bottom of their iPad and accidentally hitting it or knocking it or bumping it around, breaking that lightning connector off, and it's toast. Thankfully, Apple does have a better solution, in my opinion. They offer inside the package an extra tip and an adapter so that you can plug this into, say, like your iPhone charger and plug the pencil into the end of that. So a much better solution. I don't know if this was included in the first iteration or if this has always been there, but this is a way, way better option to charge your pencil. So to kind of wrap this whole thing up, I just want to say that it is an extremely awesome experience to use this pencil. I always thought, at least in my mind, I had it in my head that, okay, this is just kind of a gimmick. There's no way that I would actually use this thing. But it really does take you using it in order to fully understand how powerful the whole thing really can be and how functional it really can be, especially for photo editors and artists. I know so many people that have created some absolutely gorgeous, absolutely amazing things with this system. And for those people, they were right. They were early adopters, and they proved a lot of us naysayers wrong, because this thing really does change the way you interact with your device. And if you are looking for a more intimate experience into messing with your photographs or getting into some level of digital art, I highly recommend picking up the pencil and maybe buying AppleCare. So at any rate, guys, thanks so much for stopping here and watching the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one. Peace.